Michael Wolff, the author of Fire and Fury Inside the Trump White House, is with us this morning. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
A lot has happened since details of your book just came out. The president,
to say the least.
to say the least, the president, in response, has felt the need to describe himself as a stable genius. Based on your reporting, are there people inside the White House talking about trying to remove him from office?
They're not talking about trying to remove him from office. They're wondering what's going to happen. The people in the White House are like everybody else in the country. What's going to happen here? We don't know from day to day. This is for them, as for everyone, an extraordinary experience. And I think that they certainly question what's going to happen here, like everybody else. There are many moments in which the 25th Amendment has come up. The 25th Amendment, in which gives the cabinet the ability to remove the president, and they don't say the cabinet is going to remove the president, but they do say things like this is a little 25th Amendment-y here.
Well, it's interesting because you say that Bannon was going around the White House saying that there was a 33% chance that the president would be impeached, a 33% chance that he would resign under threat of the 25th Amendment, correct?
Right. And a 33 1/3% chance that he would limp to the finish line, but a 0% chance that he would have another term.
President Trump yesterday said the book is a fake book. He said you are totally discredited as an author. Is everything in the book true?
Everything in the book is true.
And your response to that?
Well, I'm waiting for a nickname.
You don't have one? You don't have one yet.
I seem to have been. Where's my nickname?
Well, he did call it a work of fiction. Stephen Miller continued that narrative over the weekend. There had been reports
I can reliably say Donald Trump has never read a work of fiction. So
one person who appears on almost every page of this book is Hope Hicks. In terms of what she saw and what she was aware of and participated in, how big of an impact would she have in the Mueller investigation if, in fact, she did cooperate with him? And how worried should the president be?
I think huge. Hope is at the center of this administration. I mean, she's really one of the curious figures. She really begins as something like an intern in the or a very low-level person in the campain, and
she actually worked for Ivanka Trump beforehand. That's what she was, Ivanka Trump's
right. She was a fashion PR person, and then she was seconded to the campaign, and she became very close to the candidate, and then very close to the president of the United States. And now, for all intent and purpose, she is the president's senior most advisor.
Did you speak with any members of the president's cabinet for this book?
I did not.
You did not?
I did not.
And did you speak with the vice president?
I did not.
When was the last time you spoke with the president for this book?
You know, as I've said all along here, and the White House seems very focused on this, and I've spent about 3 hours talking to the president over the course of the campaign, the transition, and in the White House. But the important point I want to make is that this book is not about my impression of the president. I came into this with no agenda. I continue to have no political agenda.
Fair enough. But it reads like a running narrative. Like, as you say, you were a semi-permanent spot. You were a fly on the wall in the White House. But
Exactly.
It does also read like your main source is Steve Bannon. Would it be correct to sort of say that?
It would be not correct. He's a very large source here, but there are many. You have written
it's worse than you thought. It's worse than anybody thought, that he's mentally unstable, that he's an idiot.
Okay, I didn't say this isn't. I did not say he's mentally unstable. I would not be qualified to do this. I'd say I have merely described, and mostly not my impressions, the impressions of other people, of the people he deals with on a daily basis.
But the president denies he ever spoke with you for this book at all.
Well, I think he probably had no idea he was speaking to me for this book. When I would meet the president in the White House, we would would chat as though we were friends, and that was
but
what
that's not
that
an
was.
interview to greet someone and say hello. I mean, that's not a journalistic exercise.
Yeah, you said
just to
3
say hello.
hours. You'd spend 3 hours with him.
Well, through the course, first I have sat down with the president for an extended periods of interviews, but there's other periods in which, and that's essentially what he's saying. They're trying to parse this and saying, oh, I didn't know that I was speaking to him when I saw him in the White House as an interview.
Just to clarify, the White House says the last time they have a record of you meeting with President Trump was February 2017. That's just barely 100 days into his presidency. Did you interview him after that date?
Let's separate this out. I interviewed him at that point. After that, we would speak. I'm sure he didn't think they were interviews. And in all fairness, he might say, I was not being interviewed.
How much do you think things have changed since John Kelly became chief of staff?
I think that they've obviously changed a lot. There's
Bannon's gone.
Bannon's gone, Priebus gone, Spicer's gone. So
Most of your sources.
So the core of the White House the first 6 months, the core of that staff is gone. So a lot has changed given the staffing of the White House. The thing that has not changed, of course, is Donald Trump.
Michael Wolff, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.